I don't need an AI just talk, just give me advice. It's like a AI version of Trump. Everyone's operating inside the fragments, but no one sees the whole picture. But how to integrate them into a holistic marketing? So
Absolutely.
that's my vision. One, I'm the founder and CEO of Amplift.ai.
So, hey guys, welcome to the Amplift podcast, episode number 1. Today, I'm really honored to have Monica here. So, she's the CEO of Amplift, and I'm in charge of the marketing of Amplift in America. And I'm really glad to have our CEO with us for our first kickoff episode. So, Monica, if you could give us a little brief introduction of yourself, we would love to know.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so happy to be here. And hello, everyone. I'm the founder and CEO of Amplift.ai. My background includes working at TikTok and leading global markets at a large language model startup. And I also work as a solution architect, or in today's Silicon Valley buzzword, a forward deploy engineer. And okay, what's about you? And you, could you please give us an introduction of yourself?
Absolutely. So my career started when I was an influencer. I was a model influencer working with like different companies, and I see these huge opportunities where I can bridge a gap between brand sourcing for influencer and influencer dying to work with brands. So I started my first marketing agency, and later than that, I started a few ventures on myself, and then my most recent role, I lead a global marketing team for like a $2 billion US furniture company. So really glad to join here today. And I mentioned you mentioned before you have a very important role at TikTok. So could you like further dive into that? I'm like very curious to know.
Okay. I have to say it's not that a very happy experience there because, in a very huge company, you could only see a very limited piece of the whole picture. So I used to work there, and as you can see, I'm Chinese, so maybe it's okay for me to like get used to that culture. And yes, I used to lead agency team to like collaborate and cultivate the local agencies. And it's quite interesting because I could talk with like hundreds of local agencies, especially the marketing agencies. That's quite fantastic.
That sounds like a great experience. And then you said you
Yeah.
were like leading the large language learning models there. So could you like touch
Yes.
more on that part? Because like for me, it's like what does that even mean, right?
Okay, I think the large language model is kind of a technical term because back in maybe it's like 3 years ago, I joined this company, and it's a how to say large language foundation model startup. The company is mainly about how to develop a foundation model in large language like Gemini, like ChatGPT, etc. And it's a startup, but in the past 3 years, we could see many startups they are concentrating in this area, but this area needs so much money. So after that, I quit because it's too hard to promote its own model, and because compared to Cloud 3 or Cloud 4 is not that much good.
Absolutely. So what's your original thought of like creating Amplift AI?
Okay. Yeah, it's quite interesting because I think I see too much pain points from my own perspective and also from my colleagues. Because I think back in the days, when I worked for TikTok, I feel like marketers had the focused career path compared with other occupations like engineers or product managers. It's because we don't get time to build real strategic experience. Hours and hours acquisitions, minutes of strategies, and seconds of creativity. Without strategy, we can't level up, and we stay stuck in acquisitions. I used to try very hard to enter this profession, but I quit my job because as a marketer, I don't have enough context that the other roles may have already known, like product managers. And I was drowning in pulling reports, extracting data from many platforms, and upload them into other platforms. So I think my job was inside fragmented context, pieces everywhere, but no whole picture. Without the whole picture context, marketing kind of becomes mechanical. Without context, marketers become operators, not thinkers. And I also think that we don't deserve this. We deserve the full picture, the whole context to know, okay, what's going on in that department, what's going on in paid ads, even though I'm the SEO specialist. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's
Oh,
that's a
I
real
totally
thing.
agree your pain point because in my previous work experience, I feel like even though like people are giving all the data, because I think a lot of people are not, for like whatever reason, they might not like show you the whole picture. They not be
Mhm.
100%, honest because they're trying to cover their, assets when they provide you with their insights. So I 100% agree with you. I feel like marketers sometimes do not like, not sometimes, most time we do not get like the full picture. So I think it's very important to kind of establish a very transparent market, right? Where you can like go into a platform and just dig out everything you want to know about a company and then kind of build your strategies based off that. And then absolutely. So here's another question. You mentioned like before you feel like you feel a little bit isolated. Is that another reason why you want to try to like branch out and do your own platform?
Exactly, because it's like 4 years ago, I was a solution architect in a SaaS company, and we
Okay,
have a
let me
client.
there. Okay, what does the solution architect mean? Sorry, like yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
uh,
most
yeah,
game with all the terminology, so please explain to me.
okay. It's like in Silicon Valley, they have this buzzword deploy forward deploy engineer, which means it's kind of blind the engineer, product manager, and sales. So it's like, okay, I got your pain points, and I could deliver a perfect solution, and I am the person who is going to implement the solution.
Got it.
Yeah. And that time I was quite young, and we have a client asking for a paid ads optimization service. It's quite common, right? And I saw it was a very great opportunity for me to learn paid ads ecosystem systematically. So I print out a giant picture of the marketing landscape, which includes maybe more than 200 companies, the advertising players across different sectors. But it turned out that I didn't have the time to go through the picture and only train in one corner of the room. And I don't have the opportunity to learn more from paid ads, and because I was in charge of the CRM team. So due to the experience, due to the existence of the department was, even after years of marketing, I still feel like I only know a fraction of the big picture. And it's like, okay, I never know what's happening in the next department, in the paid ads department, or in the other sectors. It's like, okay, they are developing something good, but I don't know. They are developing some strategies that maybe benefit me, but I don't know. So it's
Absolutely.
like kind of very lonely, because yeah, it's kind of like you live in a very limited space.
Absolutely. I can totally feel what you're feeling because I feel like TikTok is a very big team and then like you guys can get all the possible data you get from the market and then I just feel like when you get so many outlets and you said like it's like 300 something cases, of course your time is very limited, so you can only like view a few and kind of get a synopsis of all the scenarios, but it's impossible for you to actually personally go into each of the scenario and kind of get what came out of the scenario. So I feel like that's kind of another reason why you kind of start your own platform. It's just to simplify the whole process for the marketers. So I really applaud
Exactly.
you for that. And here's another question. Do you feel what's the biggest challenge you have when you kind of create this platform?
Okay, first I have to say that the most challenging is that I feel like many marketers, they are refusing to have a trial on new products, because I know that over the past 2 years they have been hurt by many so-called AI agents, or AI marketing tools. Because we could see, I have to say, I think it's quite overhyped in the past 2 years or 3 years, because all of the products just popped up, and they all claim that we could solve this kind of problem, solve that problem. But you find that, okay, the only capability of those products is to write some content blogs or captions for you. So many
Absolutely. So
marketers are quite disappointed. Yeah.
absolutely. You know what? I'm quite disappointed too. I remember about like 2 years ago, there's like a huge wave of just like AI, software like cold call. But I feel like back then the technology, the software wasn't really there. And then so people were basically using the exact same prompt as like ChatGPT, the very like beginning stages of it. And then people were giving you like the most like basic content where you can write yourself. Sure, it saved you some time, but like I think what people are looking for, as marketers, they're looking for like a holistic one-stop shop kind of solution, not just like, okay, cool, I give you an idea, write me an article, and then copy and paste. They're trying to kind of do like a one stop for all kind of situation. So personally, I've been burned because like I tried a lot of those like the AI cold call like software. I feel like most of them has given me like exactly the same, if not like inferior kind of quality content than ChatGPT, because I feel like there's no like distinct line with like the ChatGPT and produce content, because
SEO,
not
the GEO,
only for
the
marketers,
AEO,
it's for like the
kinds of
general
those
public,
things,
right?
Other
So it's
than
really hard to kind of understand like a very decentralized kind of a very specific platform where you solve problems just for marketers but not for everybody else, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And I thought, because I think that marketing is kind of like should be very interconnected. Many pieces like SEO, paid ads, content creators, CRM, or brand, they may look like different functions, but they all influence each other. So
Right.
marketing is fundamentally an interconnected system. When one channel shifts, everything else shifts with it. And the problem today is that marketers only see their own piece. SEO
Right.
people don't see paid ads people don't see influencers don't see CRM. Everyone is operating inside the fragments, but no one see the whole picture. And I also think that we should utilize the insights from SEO. For example, if I am in charge of the influencer marketing, I extremely need the insights from SEO keywords. It will help me to find the right influencers and deliver the right key messages, right? So it's like, okay, today they're all fragmented, but how to integrate them into a holistic marketing? So
Absolutely.
that's my vision.
Absolutely, I love it because I understand exactly where you're coming from, because I feel like now like all the AI software, even now, not 2 years ago now, they're solving kind of a piece of the puzzle. There's like a lot of like software solving for like the SEO like ranking. So I plug in the keyword, you tell me what like ranks you're ranking for. What our competitors are ranking for, and like here's the things you can do to make it better. And then there are like influencer software, right, to pull all the data and then be like, this is the influence you should be working with. But I completely agree with you. So none of them are communicating with each other. So your SEO strategy does not include your influencer strategy, and vice versa. Your influencer strategy does not consider your SEO strategy. So you might have like two great teams chasing off all the wonderful things, but they're not necessarily working with each other. So when you're putting like one-on-one efforts, you're not getting more than two. You're getting like less than two because people are not working towards a common goal. So what I'm hearing from your perspective, from your vision, is like you're trying to kind of put everything into the same platform and not only offer advice, but also offer the actionable, pain point for marketers to solve. So you're not, like talking with like two, three, even like, five, six like different teams and try to like consolidate everything and get that one common understanding. You're trying to basically build a platform for all the marketers to get all their input and kind of solidify and come up with like the optimal strategy, not only for one channel, but it's for optimal like omni-channel. So you're considering not only influencer, not only SEO, you're considering the whole approach, kind of the all integral, integrated marketing, and see, how can all the department work most efficient with each other and create the optimal ROI. So is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's much easier for SMB or solo entrepreneurs to adopt the holistic marketing idea because, they don't have so much people in marketing team and it's like they don't have to break down the department walls because they don't have. So maybe for them, it's quite easier to adopt new AIs or one-style marketing solutions. So it's a good idea. It's a good news for them.
Absolutely. So I have another question. So when you're talking about, like basically departments not communicating with each other and not reaching the optimal result. So how do you solve that problem in your own company? So at Amplift, how do you solve that? Just
Yeah,
to make
it's a very
sure.
good question. Yeah, we have already implemented several strategies here because it's how to call it? It's like a cross function. It's kind of a policy for everyone. You have to pick up two functions. Like I don't need an SEO specialist. I need a guy who could take care SEO and influencer marketing at the same time. So it's like you don't have to be in a one narrow niche because I think it's not that good for your career path. So for us, we ask all of your people to adopt 2 solutions or adopt 2 functions, or maybe 3. Yeah, because
Absolutely.
I'm the boss,
Your
so
approach. So
I want to utilize everyone.
absolutely. So everybody has at least, like at least 2, like job
At
functionality.
least 2.
And that
Yes.
overlap was the other employee. So everybody basically watch each other and then they understand what each others are doing. So it's kind of like a double safety procedure, right? For everybody to optimize perfectly. And then
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
mentality you use to kind of train the AI learning algorithm. Is that correct? So they're not, the
Exactly.
AI algorithm is not only looking at like one part of the problem, they're looking at the problem from like, like 4 or 5 different perspectives and try to get everybody's input before they come out with like the optimized situation.
Exactly. And it's a very simple belief. If you give enough context to a person, he or she will grow up very fast, right? And if you give enough context to an AI model, I think the model will be more professional. So it's a very
Absolutely.
simple belief.
Absolutely. I tried the software. The most thing I have to say about like what makes it different from any other platform is like every time when I ask a question, the search engine always want to ask me 10 more questions. So I think that's why I really love about it, because I feel like a lot of the AI search engines and people are trying to do what you do is like they're only taking in like one-sided information and then they kind of analyze and give you the the answer. But I think what you did so brilliantly is you're not only kind of taking in the initial response, you're also analyzing what kind of question should I be asking if I'm not an AI, as like an agency, as like on a personal level, what should you be communicating with the client to see, okay, what is the KPI you want to achieve? What kind of like to get kind of pick their brain? Because I feel like a lot of time, I feel like the AI is lacking right now is kind of the interaction with the human being. Because like you can dump all the questions you want and then they give you the answer like they think is the best. But I always feel like if they're not asking you more questions, what's kind of the point of this whole thing? Because it's impossible for us, I feel like, to kind of rely on AI completely and be like, okay, you can go into my brain and just like dig out everything about me and then kind of give me the optimal answer. I feel like there has to be a two-sided street. It's not only input from the AI, we have to also give the input for the correct question they're asking. Because from our previous communication, I feel like your point is like a lot of the time, people knows like what's going on, but they don't know the correct question to ask. And the AI is kind of like, help you to sort through all the things and then help you to figure out what is the correct question to ask that you didn't even realize. And I feel like that's got so much more efficient when you kind of given your input and kind of optimize with the AI strategy. I think that's how you get the golden answer. So
Exactly. Asking questions is much more difficult than answering a question. So if the AI could take care of all of the questions you have to ask and you have to take care, so I think the AI is kind of could give us the actionable insights. And as well as I don't need an AI just talk, just give me advice, just it's like a AI version of Trump. And I need someone who could take care of the acquisitions, the implementations. If they give me a good advice, a piece of a very, very good advice, I will suggest this AI to do it, not just talk about it.
absolutely. I 100% agree, because I feel like that's the shortcoming of other platform. They can give you a lot of analysis, but they cannot give you a lot of like actionable insights where you can just like like literally adopt the strategy and see the business improve within the next several weeks. So I feel like that's definitely what's lacking in the market. So I'm so glad you're like developing this platform. So yeah.
Yeah. And also, I'm quite curious about what kind of use cases you have already seen in marketing scenarios, because I heard that many AI products are like fraud or yeah, it's not that real. And I'm quite curious that have you ever seen any, let's say, the real use cases happening in marketing scenarios?
Absolutely. So I feel like I agree with you. Going back to a previous point, I think everything's like very segmented. So you can like tackle like part of, if you think about like marketing this like whole channel approach, you can only tackle like maybe like 10% of the problem at once. And I feel like all the current like the AI marketing software, the capability is rather limited. So, like for example, at my previous role, we used like AI to create images, right? But like the image creation software does not offer you the caption or the optimal, channel to kind of place the ads or kind of get the max like ROI. So all the other things you have to either bring in your previous experience or you have to find somebody else, another service provider to provide that kind of insights. And I feel like first that wastes a lot of time because it's like not one software you can do like everything, right? Like create the image, get the caption, with one click, you just like upload everything to all the different platform and then give you a slightly different narratives and with like different hashtag and all the good stuff. And I think another point, kind of going back to your old point, is kind of like the SEO. I feel like it's still a very like a murky like market. So when you go on like different, like tracking software, it's not going to give you the exact same ranking. It's going to be within the same range. But when you're kind of like digging into be like, how exactly did you come up with this ranking? I feel like a lot of the AI software company will give you the very generic answer. Like, okay, we pull in the GA4 like into our platform, we analyze based on like the data. So I was like, if all the AI company are using the same method, why are you giving me the different ranking? That does not make
Yeah.
sense. So I feel like there's kind of a degree of the fluidity. So whatever, like the number looks the best for the agency, kind of like try to woo you to be a client. That's how they're gonna like take the approach. I feel like, transparency is another thing I feel like is really lacking in the current landscape. And even now, like people are saying you can go on to I don't know if I should mention like specific like name, but there's like this one software, their whole ads is about, okay, if you have a like a competitor you really admire about, you really want to be them, you can go on this web page and then put in their company name. They're going to give you the whole marketing strategy. They're going to give you all the traffic sources. They're going to give you all the SEO rankings. But you actually do it, it's very limited. It's not like, oh my god, like okay, this is like how much I spend on Meta. This is how much I spend on Google. This is how much I spend on Pinterest. Is a very like ballpark number, and it never like tap into like the total like the input. So I feel like if there's a software like the one you're developing, in the market that's saying like, okay, I can simplify everything and I can like condense everything to a very useful, like actionable insights, I think a lot of marketers, including myself, will be very, very excited. So
yeah, that could be great. And talking about Amplift.ai, and we are quite interested in how to integrate all those scenarios together into one thing, into one whole picture. But right now, we think we have to prioritize several scenarios like influencer marketing because I could see that there's a very obvious trend that the KOL collaboration outperforms KOL much better. And you could see the higher ROI, the higher performance, and higher impressions in KOC collaboration. So I think many companies should pay more attention into KOC marketing because it's quite new and there are so much creators you could collaborate with and you could test so many key messages, so many taglines, and you can test your ICP and your content key message. So I think that's a huge thing, the next big thing. And many companies just get used to collaborate with those big KOLs that could drive millions of impressions, but you could see very little conversions or the deep, deep awareness or etc. So I think this trend is quite important and everyone should pay attention to it.
absolutely.
And besides the QC or KOL part, we think how to track if you collaborate with more than 100 or 200 KOC or even 1,000. I used to see a client collaborated with 1,000 KOC. And if you collaborate with so much people, how to track the performance, how to refine your strategy for next campaigns, that is very important. So we have already developed such features of QC collaboration and performance tracking, but I think it's only the small piece of our platform.
Thank you so much for your time, Monica. Yeah, like it's an honor to like hear from you, and then looking forward to hosting our next session.
Okay, the honor is mine too. So hope to talk to you again, and maybe next episode we could discuss the real use cases we have seen in the past 1 year or 2 years, how the brands or software company utilize AI to increase their efficiency or the effectiveness in their company. And also I want to share some good tools, which I have already tried for many times and I have paid for them. It's not the AI hype agent, it's a real thing. And yeah, next time we can share something about that.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
thank you, and you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Monica.